Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a drill. This is not a drill. This is the OT Sports Show. One more time, we're here live. It's been a few days, been a
Yes,
little
sir.
minute, but we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Once
Here
again,
we are.
Omar Pickett, we're here joined live with Trenton McDuke and a vacant chair. We are very excited. This is going to be a great show. Oh, look at this. Look who joined us. Ladies and gentlemen, we're really excited. We've got a big-time Lakers fan with us, the man, the myth, the legend, RJ, my cousin, is going to be with us here live for this show as we get ready to talk. We talking playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. We are talking playoffs. So once again, this is Omar Pickett. Trent, tell me how you feeling, man.
Yo, man. It was an awesome day, and I'm excited about the talk today. We got some topics to talk about, some good stuff, and it's going to be crazy, y'all. The craziness has already started. Even though right now, pretty much what's going on right now was pretty much a given. Yeah, we was pretty much expecting it, but overall, the playoffs are promising. I think it's really going to be crazy.
Playoffs. You know what I'm talking about playoffs? Yeah, we're going to talk playoffs today.
Yeah.
This is awesome. If you ask me, the field is as wide open. Normally, when you walk into these playoffs, you have a prohibitive idea of who's really going to be the champion. We know who's going to be the one that is the prohibitive favorite. We have a favorite, but when your favorite is a team that hasn't won before, it's filled with people who've not won before, and you've got the Nets out there, you've got the Warriors out there, we've got all these different teams. It is really something. So we may be looking at perhaps the best playoff field we've had. A really good intersetting set of games. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I know I'm waiting on our special guest to get ready. I think he's getting some stuff set up, but I'm really excited, man. Other than that, man, Trent, you ready to get going?
Oh, yes. Let's get
Okay, so let's do this while we're going to go ahead and get started talking about the playoffs. And, of course, one of the games we're not really going to discuss like that because it looks like the Nets are going to get the job done against the Cleveland Cavs. We were going to talk about that show if we had our show yesterday. We had some technical difficulties that was going on, and there's been a lot going on. My hair. I got the Let Your Soul Glow thing going on right now. It's not quite Let Your Soul Glow. It's not quite done yet. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So it's just been a crazy couple of days. So it looks like the Nets are going to take care of business, and it looks like they're going to be the ones to go off to face the Celtics. Trent, how do you feel about a potential Nets Celtics series?
That's gonna be so good. And the thing is, we're talking about a 2-7 game, but we don't know who's gonna win it. Like, let's be honest. Would we be surprised if the Nets beat the Celtics in a 7-game series? Of course not. Of course not. I mean, look, this is Kyrie's playing back against his old team on a very meaningful stage. This just ain't no regular season game. Now he's playing against them in the playoffs. So it's gonna be some bad blood between Kyrie and the fans. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
It's gonna just be like I love it. I just love it. What do you think? What are we saying? What are we gonna say?
Now, my man RJ is here. We're talking playoffs now. We're talking about the Nets. We just started. We're talking about the Nets beating the Cavs and them clinching the 7th seed, getting ready to face the Boston Celtics in the first round. RJ, go ahead and handicap that series. Tell me what you see. What do you think? Is this easy for the Nets? Do you see the Celtics, the 2 seed, pulling it out? What do you see here in that 7-game series?
Is Robert Woods?
I think he's out. I don't think he's going to play. I think Robert Woods is probably more looking second round. But from what I've heard, I don't think he's going to be playing in this series.
All right. If Robert Williams not playing, Ben Simmons not playing, I'm going to go with the Celtics. I'm going to go with the Celtics. You got a team that play defense or two. The Nets can't play defense, man.
Oh, look at you. So it's all about defense all of a sudden. The Nets are bad. I mean, the Nets are a bad defensive team. But I'm going to be honest with you. I can't pick against Durant and Kyrie
Nope.
against the Celtics.
And I won't.
Good as Jason Tatum.
If they lose, then they lose. But I'm not going to say they're going to lose to Boston. I'm just not saying it.
I'm saying Jason Tatum and Jason Tatum is all NBA this year. I mean, so he's balling. No disrespect whatsoever to him, but the pedigree of Kevin Durant. The pedigree of Kyrie Irving. The Celtics are going to have to beat them, and I'm not going to pick against Durant and Kyrie in a 7-game series against a team that has not gotten it done. I'm just not going to do it. Not going to do it. They could do it, but I'm not going to pick them.
And I think of all teams, I think the Nets have the most to prove out of everybody. And I think they're going to be here to prove it. They're going to be trying to prove a point in this first series. Like, we haven't had our people. We had to deal with the whole Harden situation. We made a mistake there. I mean, it's going to
situation.
Yeah, Kyrie. Yeah, man. Kyrie stuff.
What you RJ?
He playing home games, right?
No, well, Kyrie can play all games now.
Yeah.
Kyrie can play all games now. They lifted it now.
Except for Toronto, right? If they would have played Toronto.
If they were to play Toronto, he would not be able to play. But that's an interesting thing right there. That would have to be conference finals because Toronto's a 5 seed.
That's me. I'm still thinking he only half the game.
Yeah, they lifted that maybe about a month ago. So that's why I'm saying without that lifted, and then you've got, man, I don't know. Now a potential second round matchup with Milwaukee would be really, really interesting. I would love to see that.
I can really see the Celtics using Marcus Smart to try to take out Kyrie.
Yeah.
And you make out though. I'm talking about strategy wise. You make
take him out. Is he gonna punch Kyrie in the face? Is he gonna? is he gonna shoot Kyrie in the parking lot? Is that what he gonna do?
Matchup wise, the Celtics got defenders.
Yeah, I mean Marcus.
They're gonna make it hard for them to score. On the other end, the Celtics probably get any basket they want.
And they got home court.
And they got
you. I'm just telling you, Marcus Smart is an elite defender. I mean, he's an elite. If you had to guard Kyrie with somebody, Marcus Smart, you can't go wrong with him.
I see. You're right. Is that the guy that took out Steph? Oh, now I see what you mean. Okay. Oh, he's gonna dive at his legs. Okay, now I got you. Okay.
Hey, whatever Boston got to do to win. If something like that happened, hey, you got a chance. You got a chance, yo. So yeah, let's talk about. Go ahead. You got something else to say, RJ?
Jaylen Brown went to the conference final
yeah,
without Kyrie. So it's not like they haven't done it.
True. But where's that been at the last couple of years, though? I don't see why this year.
Only been.
That was a minute ago, bro.
That was LeBron still in Cleveland.
Yeah,
that was 4 years ago.
Yeah, that was LeBron still in Cleveland. I want to say that was when.
Remember they went to the East Conference Finals. Then LeBron left. Then Kyrie come back that next year and they didn't do nothing.
Didn't do nothing.
But you know that was Boston's front office fault because he shouldn't have. They made the same mistake that Brooklyn made in getting Harden. Sometimes it's better to have a better team than going and adding a big name. Like, bro,
I just went through the whole season. Trust me, I know.
We'll talk about the Lakers very soon. He already
triggering me right now.
that was prophetic right there. I think you were going prophetic right there. Amen. Amen.
Definitely.
Let's talk about this other Eastern Conference series. We got the Atlanta Hawks, the 9 seed, taking on the Charlotte Hornets, the 10 seed.
115-108 Nets.
All right. So Cleveland will play the winner of this game coming up between the Atlanta Hawks and the Charlotte Hornets. The loser is out. The 9-10 game. Of course, you know the Atlanta Hawks, who went to I want to say they went to the conference finals last year against Milwaukee. The Hornets, who were in this exact same position last year and got blown out by Indiana. This is the 9-10 game. LaMelo Ball versus Trae Young. Let's hear from RJ first. Who you got in this game between the Hawks and the Hornets? Win or go home?
And just let
I don't
go ahead, Trent.
Just the regular season, they're tied 2-2. Both teams won on each other's court and one at home. So out of the 2 home games and the two away games, they both have split, which is crazy.
I'm gonna go with just because the experience this year. That's why I'm gonna go with the Hawks.
I agree.
And also, like I said, the Hornets, didn't they get beat by like 40 last year? I got to see.
But it was terrible.
The
game was ugly.
I got to see something to have confidence in this. So I'm gonna go with the Hawks because they actually showed last year.
You're right.
AC last year, weren't they? Like the AC, and they went what to the 3rd round, right?
They were the 5 seed. They beat the New York Knicks in the first round. They beat them pretty good, and then they played the Sixers in the 2nd round. That was the infamous Ben Simmons scared to shoot a layup. You know, I mean, they lose in the game 7. They went to the conference finals. So, you know, we've seen the Hawks make a run.
To get hurt, it's possible. If Trae Young doesn't hurt his ankle in that game, it's possible that they win that series.
Yeah. Very true. And so I like a lot the Atlanta Hawks in this one. To me, what have the Hornets done that lets you think that they'll win at this go around? You know, just like last year, Gordon Hayward's not playing. Maybe the dumbest contract in the history in the history of sports.
Oh, I got one. The difference could be Montrez.
Say it again.
Montrez could be the difference. Actually,
Okay, I'll give you that. You know, I'm always gonna speak well about Montrez. He always, you know, I'm always gonna speak good about him. We hoping he can get him on the show one day. That's one of my hopes. So I'm always gonna speak good about Montrez. But let me tell you, I can't see it. I can't see it. And the Hornets have not got a good defensive team.
I just wouldn't be surprised if they played well during the regular season. I just wouldn't be. So it wouldn't be surprising to me if they happened to win, but I wouldn't bet on it. No, at all. Not at all.
I can't wait to talk about the Hornets a little later because we're going to talk about whether or not they should make a big trade for Russell Westbrook. And I'm going to tell you this: they've got what they've got in LaMelo Ball. And Trent, you know me. You know, I was very much critical when the whole LeVar Ball situation was going on and when it first started. But I got to be objective. LaMelo is the truth.
Great.
And
he won't lie. He said he did have the best. What he said, he had the best ball son that hadn't even came out.
I mean, now let me tell you this: if LeVar was talking like this and it was LaMelo, he'd have been totally justified. Lonzo was not that player, even though he's gotten so much better.
LaMelo came in with pressure,
but LaMelo is the truth.
Yes.
But LeVar came out. Lonzo came out and got all the pressure because of what LeVar was doing. Yeah. If you know, so I think highly of him. The Hornets have to show that they're committed to winning with him, but I don't think they have enough yet in this sort of situation to do better than they did last year. They're an average basketball team and a poor defensive one. I expect the Hawks to take advantage.
It's toss up though.
It is. Let me see.
That's tomorrow, but tonight is the Clippers in Minnesota.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. That was actually the next thing I was gonna go to. And Terrence, we are gonna talk about Russ and the Hornets. We're gonna talk about that, and I've got a lot to say about that coming up, man.
Get to it.
I know, right?
I want to see him off the bench, in the stands, in the parking lot. I don't want him nowhere in Charlotte unless he's on the road.
I'm going Dr. Seuss. I would not touch him with a mouse. I would not touch him in a house. I would not touch him here or there. I would not touch him anywhere. I don't want no parts of Russell Westbrook. Sam, I am. I don't want him with green eggs and ham. I don't want him at all. Let's get to the next topic right here. You said the next game was the Timberwolves and the Clippers?
Yeah, Timberwolves and Clippers.
Since this game is getting ready to start right now, let's go with our predictions on this one. You've got the Clippers who have been red hot. You got Paul George coming back. Then you've got the Timberwolves. You got Karl Anthony Towns. You've got Anthony Edwards, the way he's been playing. Game for the 7 seed. Timberwolves, Clippers. Trent, who you got?
Yo, man. My heart, I want to say Minnesota, man. I like that squad. I think that and I'm gonna say this, and I know some people may not like it because we in Charlotte or whatever, but I really feel like they've done Anthony Edwards a disservice. I think he should have won Rookie of the Year, and I think if you look at the stats, now numbers don't lie. He has played at times. He's played. I don't know about right now at this moment, but up until the time this year, he definitely was still playing better than LaMelo was. He outdid him last year, and for a lot of this year, he was outplaying him too, averaging most points. He was rebounding a lot, assisting pretty good, especially for an undersized shooting guard. I mean, I think it's the hype, it's the LeVar. I think it's what LeVar set off that chain reaction. For whatever reason, the media just loves LaMelo. He's like a media darling, and it is what it is. But Edwards is no joke. He's also another one you do not want to mess with. Get out the way if he goes baseline. I'm just telling you. But the boy is nasty. I think that team. I think ultimately not Miami, but Minnesota should have too much for LA.
What you say, RJ?
Minnesota.
Both of y'all going? Am I the only one going with the Clippers here? Wow.
If you go with the Clippers, it's got to be because of coaching. It's got to be.
Yes. Yeah. Coaching matters. It's the playoffs, man. I'm going with the coaching. I'm going with the Los Angeles Clippers. Man, the run they have been on, the fact that they have played almost this entire season without Paul George, and they're still in the playoffs. Where are you, Lakers? We'll talk about that later. Later. But I just don't understand. I like what they've been doing. Paul George coming back. They've been one of the hottest teams in the NBA. The Timberwolves, can they show up in a moment like this? Can the Timberwolves win a big game? I mean, they're like, I don't want to say they're Hornets West, but I mean, they have to show that they could win a big game too. So I'm just like, man, I like the talent. I love Karl Anthony Towns fantasy wise. Anthony Edwards is a baller. I'm with you. He should have won Rookie of the Year. It was all media hype is the reason why LaMelo Ball won. They're both great players.
Ball season off hot. Then Anthony Edwards played.
Say it again.
LaMelo Ball started the season off hot. Then Anthony Edwards came. I think that's because he had already built at the beginning.
Yeah, I think some hype carried it. But I mean, when you look at the stats at the end of the day, LaMelo Ball had better numbers. So Anthony Edwards had better numbers than LaMelo. So I'm with you on that. With that being said, I do think that these are two great players. And I'm excited about, what they're going to do. I'm excited about how, Anthony Edwards is going to continue to ascend. But like I said, they have to prove that they can win the big game. So with that, give me Ty Lue, who's won big games before. Give me playoff P. I know, right? Give me Paul George and give me the Los Angeles Clippers over the Timberwolves that I can't trust.
He better be playoff P and not pitiful P.
Or
P.
Pandemic P.
Pandemic P.
Pretty awful P.
Pretty awful P. Y'all not right. Leave that man alone, man. Leave that man alone. I'm pretty excited about that. And I guess we got to touch on the last game just because we ain't got no choice. The Pelicans and the Spurs. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think either one of these teams is going to beat the loser of the game. So I really don't care about this game like that. But, we got to pick a winner. You know what I'm saying? We got to pick a winner. The Spurs and Pelicans got in because somebody had to and because the Lakers didn't feel like it, I guess. We're just going to keep bagging on them today. But
get to the Lakers topic.
We're going to get to the Lakers next, man. The Lakers are next. I think we're going to get to the Lakers. But with that being said, RJ, tell me who you got in this game that probably don't matter because they won't beat the loser of the first game. Who you say?
The Spurs win.
You got the Spurs winning?
Yes.
No, he say he hoped the Spurs wins. That's a different statement.
Yes, I hope the Spurs win.
But who do you expect to win?
The Spurs.
Okay.
Yeah, I expect the Spurs to win.
What you got, Trenton? Tell me what you got.
Pop, right? I almost want to just refuse to pick because
I was getting on Omar about coaching, but that's Coach Pop. Like,
yeah, you just gotta root for him. When you got two, I'm gonna say this: when you got two bad teams, I'm just gonna pick the home team just because that's the way I feel. I mean, DeJounte Murray is still just kind of coming back from injury, so we don't really know how real effective he's gonna be. They got McCollum down there at the Pelicans, and so they're playing at home. I'm going to pick the Pelicans. I don't think either one of them, even if the Clippers or Timberwolves lose, I expect either one of those teams to win them.
How you gonna go with Tyrone Lue, but you're not gonna go with Pop?
Because the Clippers have been hot and the Spurs have not. That's why. The Spurs backed their way into the playoffs because the Lakers didn't want to.
Okay.
So that's the difference.
The Clippers finished 6-1. Before that, they lost like 6 straight. So I'm just
letting you know they've been one of the hottest teams in the league. I'm taking the Clippers.
Kyle Anthony has dropped like 40 points.
Yeah, but let's see what he does in the big game. That's what I'm saying. I want to see what he does in a game that matters. I'm sure he can drop. Kevin Love dropped a bunch of points in Timberwolves games that didn't mean anything. But what happens when he actually got into big time scenarios with the Cleveland Cavaliers? He was the third wheel that he was. So Well, let's get to the moment we've all been waiting for. That's the play-in. I know the playoffs are going to be good, but I want to get to this moment. Next week, we're going to pick all of our NBA finals. We're going to pick our champions and things of that nature. But for now, let's talk about the team that did not make the play-in game, that should have made the play-in game, that was a preseason title contender and somehow, did nothing. Let's talk about the Los Angeles Lakers, who, I just got to know. RJ, you are our resident Laker fan. You came here. I had to bring you on the show. I'm pretty sure you were excited. My man walking away. He walking away because he don't want to deal with this. They were excited about when they brought in Russell Westbrook and everything. This is going to be our championship team.
It's like, you get off.
So now with that being said, what's going to happen? How does this happen? Who's to blame for this collapse, RJ? Who do you place the blame at?
Who do I blame?
Mm-hmm.
People. I'm gonna blame LeBron. I'm gonna blame LeBron.
So I got a question.
LeBron?
Now, wait a minute. Are you a real Laker fan? As in, prior to LeBron, you was a Laker fan?
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't just become a Laker fan when LeBron got there. All right, so you actual Laker fan.
Aren't you also a LeBron fan though? Aren't you also a LeBron fan?
I mean, because Kobe is my favorite player all the time.
Yeah,
that's my goat. So,
okay.
I watched him since 2002. So
I think I'm surprised by all the Kobe Bryant people I've heard.
This was so bad for like 10 straight years. And wagging them. So like, but I'm gonna go with LeBron. The only reason why I'm gonna go with LeBron is I can't blame the coaching because they literally coached Russell Westbrook 2 years ago in the playoffs. They literally left him wide. But now you have issues facing. You have Buddy Hield. You have KCP. You can have Buddy Hield and team him up with KCP and Caruso. And you also had DeRozan on the line too. Then all of a sudden Russell Westbrook name come out of nowhere. And now he's on the Lakers. Like that's not a front office move. I don't feel that's a front office move. I feel like they wanted Buddy Hield and they wanted DeMar DeRozan.
And you think the Lakers basically, so you're going with what Magic Johnson said, because Magic Johnson claimed that the Lakers wanted those guys, but then LeBron came to them wanting Russell Westbrook, and that's why it went down.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like the Buddy Hield and all the was business move. I feel like Russ was more of a personal. He saw Russ
buddy, that buddy ball.
He saw that buddy, we friends off the court. They work on the court. And the front office looking at like, no, like, dog, Anthony Davis already can't shoot. Why would we ever? And I guess what they was trying to do is they was trying to game plan where LeBron is out the lineup. What can Russell bring with AD? But you have to think, okay, but what's gonna happen when it's on the floor for us? Like, how's that gonna work? You talking about and LeBron is spotting up in the corner as I shoot. That's not good. So yeah, I'm gonna have to because I don't think the front office wanted him. I blame the front office and getting Russ, but I blame LeBron for reaching out to Russ to get that trade. Because I don't think the Lakers were trying to trade for Russell Westbrook. I don't believe that was the case.
So you laying the blame on LeBron. We got LeBron lay the blame. Trent, who you laying the blame for on this?
I'm gonna agree with him to a certain extent and say that if LeBron was at hands in doing this, then and putting this team together, it's his fault. But I'm gonna say I blame him only 55%, and the other 45%, the majority of the rest of the fault. I'm not even gonna say Russell Westbrook. I'm gonna say I look at AD, man. I get it. I mean, and I understand that I feel kind of like Charles Barkley does, because I feel like, bro, he was supposed to be the man. Mm-hmm. That's who everything was supposed to be through when this was supposed to be AD's team. Even LeBron said that. Like, you can hear that even from LeBron, like when he made this decision to come and to bring him in. Like, this was supposed to be AD's team, and he just has not delivered. He hasn't delivered. I mean, and the boy's talent. He's definitely a top 3 talented person in the league, but yet he just hasn't delivered, man, because of injury or whatever, and it's unfortunate. Maybe that's what I should say, because of injury. It's just simply unfortunate, just bad fortune or whatever.
Can I counter that?
What's up?
For that, I blame coaching, because they tried to move 85, and what happened was this dude put on 20 to 30 pounds of muscle on his body, and you can literally see, like, he couldn't.
But bro, he was hurt when he was skinny.
No. But what I'm saying is, look at when he first got to the Lakers. Like, what he was averaging like 28 when he came to the Lakers. They had big to let him. They had a big in the lineup to let him bang down low. And AD was playing on the perimeter, and they did it in the playoffs. The past 2 years, they've been trying to put AD at the center spot. When what that means, you have to go down low, bang with other centers every other night. And then remember, they playing that pandemic year. First year they got out the bubble, they playing every other day. So you asking AD, who's already in, to play center and to bang with other centers every other day. Like, that's coaching. Like, you had the formula. Just get another big, let AD eat from the post and out. But
see, I like what you're bringing up, RJ. It's a good point because I don't know if AD physically can handle the grind of playing center. I think they were trying to play smaller to compete with a lot of these other teams that are starting to play small in the league because that's become a new theme is people are playing small ball and they're spreading it out and they're shooting a lot of threes. And I think the Lakers trying to make Anthony Davis playing the five so that they can counter it. But I don't know if AD is built for that. Another thing about AD is he was hurt a lot in New Orleans. So, he was sitting out whole seasons just about in New Orleans. And I think there were people who thought he was just doing that to get out of New Orleans and that when he got to the Lakers, he'd be just fine. No.
Last year, he definitely did get out of New Orleans. He sat out that year.
It's just, I'll tell you, Anthony Davis, he is who we thought he was. Russell Westbrook, the way he played, he is who we thought he was.
But the counter that's what I'm saying. I blame coaching and front office. You literally won a championship playing big. Why are you trying to play small now? You literally just won it. Like everybody in your lineup 6'5" and up. Why are you trying to play 3-point guards in the lineup?
Mm-hmm.
But we doing percentage.
I actually like that point. I mean, because they won it with the trees out there being defensive.
You won it playing. But if we doing percentages, I'm gonna go 60 LeBron. No, I'm not even gonna do that. That's I'm gonna get that man some respect. I'm gonna go 50 LeBron, 50 front office. I don't blame Frank.
Okay. But you said it was coaching though. So shouldn't Frank Vogel get some of the blame if you really think it's coaching?
That is true. Oh wait, I blame the coaching for AD struggle.
Mm-hmm.
That was for Trent's point. I'm talking about combined. I blame because remember Frank Vogel don't make decisions. His input is not heard for rosters, like for roster spots. They don't even talk to him about it. They tell him what gonna be on the team, and you tell a defense first guy to make Leap Monk, Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony.
Hey, bro, you think it's that bad?
I'm saying, like, you trying to make all these offensive players, defensive stoppers, and like you're not even listening to the coach saying, "Look, no, we got Alex Caruso, KCP, who can stay in front of these guards and funnel them into the paint where our big men to be at."
Yeah,
but no. So yeah, and then they got a failed season. Then they scapegoated for Frank.
So once again, that great basketball coaching analysis from RJ. I'm so glad to be hearing that. Let me tell you who I'm going to blame. So I'm spreading out the blame, and yes, I'm giving 50% of it to LeBron because this is not just an accusation. This is something LeBron has done for his entire career. He has always played a big role in trying to, in basically campaigning for certain players to be on their teams. So he did that in Cleveland. He did that in the second stint in Cleveland. He did that, he's done it wherever he's gone, wherever he's had the ability to do it. And most teams are afraid to really say no to him, so they'll give into his demands. And so this was very much a team that he wanted to put together. Those players are there because LeBron wanted them there. And so, yeah, the defensive struggles, the senior citizen age of that team, and the team looks like half of those players could play in the 3-on-3 league with Ice-T. That's how old they are at this point. It's like we can't even where are your youth at? Where are your young cats? They don't have any of that. And that's by design. That is a LeBron James built team. That's what he does. So, I think some of that he should get the blame for that. Another thing, I'm going to give another 30% to Anthony Davis. I agree with what Trenton says. He's supposed to be the alpha. He's supposed to be the big dog on the team. He's supposed to be the guy who's number one. And he didn't do that. He did not follow through on his end of the bargain because LeBron's not supposed to be the main man on that team. Not at 19 or 19 in the league. He's supposed to be a good player, but he should not have to. Give me real quick. He should not have to be the main player on that Lakers squad. That should be Anthony Davis. And so him not holding up his end of the deal with him always getting injured, him always getting hurt, I'm giving him 30% of the play. I'm giving 10% of the blame to Russell Westbrook because he's just been god awful. He just has been. I'm sorry, leading the league in turnovers, worse than the league in 3-point shooting, worse than the league in free throw shooting. You were terrible out there. And then not accepting coaching, not accepting the fact that he should come from the bench, not accepting the fact that he should stop turning the ball over, not adjusting the way that he should play so the team can win, just feeling like he can just go willy-nilly and do whatever he wants. But I give him 10%. The reason why I give him 10% of the blame is because this is how Russell Westbrook has always played. If you can't pick up the dirty diaper and then be surprised that it stinks. The bottom line is this is what Russell Westbrook has always been, and the Lakers should have known that. So I'm giving 10% to the front office because at the end of the day, the front office could have said no. They didn't have to agree to that trade. They chose to agree to that trade. They chose to go with Russell Westbrook instead of DeMar DeRozan and Buddy Hield. And, they could have gone a different direction. They chose to give in to LeBron. So they deserve some blame too. I'm blaming the majority of it, though, at LeBron's feet because we know this is a team he put together. The best way you know that he did this is when they asked LeBron this go around, he said, I'm not giving any front office decisions. That lets you know he feels the heat and he knows that this is falling on him because he knows that it was his call to bring Russell Westbrook here.
He got humble.
And it blew up in his face.
LeBron made that decision like he could still carry a team like he did 4 or 5 years ago. Like he could just magically get out of bed and carry, drag this team to the play. He couldn't do it. But what really made this season bad was like us Lakers fans, we saw this from last year when they stripped down that whole championship team and went after all them big names. Through the Montrez, Mark Gasol. It was one more person. It was one more person. Huh?
In agree?
They got rid of him too.
Mm-hmm.
They literally got rid of 80% of that championship team.
Mm-hmm.
Try to go for big name players, and that stripped all your depth, all your wing players. You got point guards trying to guard. You got shooting guards trying to guard small forwards, and it's like they messed up that year. So okay, what do? Let's double down on that and literally get the worst point guard, the worst non-shooting point guard, and team them up with our other two players that can't shoot. And then on top of that, pay him $47 million a year.
Good gracious. Whew. Help us, G.
Like, it's crazy because, like, how do we see it? We watching TV, but they get paid to do this. They get paid millions to do this. But they don't see the logic. I don't understand it. And also, Westbrook only hit 60% of his dunks. These are dunks.
What? Tell me. Whoa. Wait a minute.
Dunks.
Wait a minute. This man made 60% of his dunks?
Dunks. The easiest to get wide open dunks. He was missing dunks.
Wow.
You a blooper reel of him missing all these dunks.
Where did you fall on the Westbrook debate, RJ? Did you feel like saying Westbrook was too much?
No, because he's shooting mid ranges but aiming at the backboard. Like I'm being for real. Like I've never seen anybody aim for the backboard while shooting them elbow mid, shooting a mid-range shot from the elbow. I've never seen that. And you remember years ago to be able to shoot the mid-range shot back in OKC. I don't know what happened.
It's like his shot was steadily improving and then just fell. He's gotten to a point now where he just don't even recognize it. But man, I hate seeing this. Because people are going to look at this. People like Stephen A. are basically saying, yeah, the GOAT debate is over based on this. You think of how LeBron has done with this team versus what Jordan did with his team at 36 years old, winning a championship with them. I mean, I think the takes are a little harsh. I think LeBron played well, but this team was just – I've never seen so many 80-point halves. giving up. How you giving up 80 points and a half? Like, for real? Like, bruh, you can't do that in a video game.
Omar, I got to the point every time I watched the Lakers game, it was already down 20 in the quarter.
I'm like, what is going on defensively? Are they just scoring and sitting down? Like, I don't know how you giving up 80 points and a half.
Yeah.
It was just bad, man. And yeah, I mean, the Lakers, what a disaster, what a collapse. But we got to talk about something that's been reported. And this is really why I definitely wanted to have RJ on the show. It was reported to me. I'm gonna say it like Earl Carter. It was reported to me that there was a rumor that the Hornets would be interested in trading for Russell Westbrook. That same Russell Westbrook that we were just talking about, how he played and how his game has, declined. You're Michael Jordan. You're the owner of the Charlotte Hornets. Are you making this trade? I'm gonna let RJ start because this is why I brought him on the show right here.
We talking about arguing. He's the owner, right?
The owner.
You talking about the
Michael Jordan?
He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it because I feel like he's gonna say, "I love his confidence, his competitive nature. MJ's competitive, so he's gonna see that in Russ and just take. He's also probably looking at the way they play too. Hornets do play fast. They do play fast offense, and they don't really have no other ball handler besides LaMelo.
Would you do it? Would you trade for Russell Westbrook?
For what? Oh, if I'm
if you were my Jordan, would you make this trade?
It's gonna sound crazy, but yeah.
What are they giving up?
Yeah, it's gonna sound crazy, but yeah.
You would make the trade.
Yeah.
Why?
This is why I get a year. I know I can win next year, but I got a year where I'm gonna put butts in the seat. You feel me? We're gonna sell some tickets with Russ and LaMelo. Cause they're not gonna win next year. Let's be honest. He probably know it too. They ain't gonna win next year. They only got to pay him for 1 year. It's only 1 year. Like he only got 1 more year left in his contract. And they probably want to get off of Gordon Hayward. Rozier too.
Rozier too.
Huh?
Rozier too.
Yeah. Or probably just Hayward. I know they want to get off one. Probably Hayward maybe more. But yeah, if I'm MJ, I will make the move.
I'm trying to stay saved right here on this show. I'm gonna really try to stay saved on the show. I'm asking for peace, so I don't explore. I might go Stephen A. when it's my turn. But Trent, you go ahead. Would you make this deal, Trent?
But are you just basing this year though? You're basing it off of just this year though, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you about it. Go ahead, Trent.
I don't know, man. You talk about. I feel like I'm making a deal with the devil to get rid of a demon. Like, like
I got happy right there. I got happy right there.
Westbrook. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know if it makes sense. I'm not sure. It would have to. There would have to be some specs in the trade that would cause like some serious. No, I wouldn't do it. No. I just that's not a No. Like no. I'm over here beating around the bush. No. I'm just not doing it. I mean, I have literally no desire for Russ. None whatsoever. In the situation, like we have Gordon, we hate it, but it is what it is. But I'm not going to take on Westbrook, whose personality can be dominating and kind of like weird. And I don't really want him around. Like I just don't want him. Yeah, I want my guard, my young talented guard to be able to spread his wings completely. But I want him to even to really stay in this leadership role. I like Isaiah Thomas for mentoring. I'm looking. I don't know if y'all paid attention, but Isaiah Thomas has really been talking to LaMelo, and it's really been good. Like, and I've enjoyed what I've seen even in that relationship. So he has a mentor already. If anything, I'll sign Isaiah for another year or two. I don't need Westbrook. Don't want him.
I would sign the Isaiah Thomas that retired for Pistons before I signed Russell Westbrook.
The Isley brothers. Where Ron? Ron can.
Hold on. Let me get my. Help me, Holy Ghost. Let me turn my music on real quick because I'm trying to make sure I stay right. Oh, let me turn my music on. Hold on, real quick, because I gotta stay calm.
We all can.
I gotta turn my music on for this one, because let me make sure I got my man right. Russell Westbrook, you have a point guard who is the primary ball handler. Russell Westbrook has to play with the ball in his hands, and he leads the league in turnovers. He's the worst three-point shooter. He's the worst free throw shooter, and he can't play without the ball in his hand. And he refuses to come off the bench. Why would I want that guy on my team? He demands to be a starter, which means he's taken away really from a spot that's fit for somebody else. There's no way I want that guy on my team. I don't want to be a backup. I don't want him to be the water boy. I don't want him to be security. I don't want him there, period. No. Now, some people believe, and I've seen this sentiment on Facebook, people have said this, if we can get rid of Gordon Hayward's contract, and we only have Russell Westbrook for one season, and then he's done, and that's money off the books. No, it's not even worth it. Let me tell you why it's not worth it. And I said this, I was going to say this, I didn't say it yet, but I'm going to say this. I looked it up. LaMelo Ball is literally the best player the Hornets have drafted since Kobe Bryant. I'm going to say it again. LaMelo Ball is the best player the Hornets have drafted since Kobe. The only competition is Kemba Walker. And you tell me right now I'm choosing between Kemba Walker and LaMelo Ball. I'm taking LaMelo Ball. There's literally no one else. The Hornets' number one priority should be getting LaMelo to re-sign. Just like Milwaukee did with Greek Freak. They prioritized making sure they got Greek Freak to re-sign. So they did whatever they needed to do. They made whatever trade they needed to make. They brought in whoever they needed to bring in to build a roster to make LaMelo want to stay. It's only a 4-year rookie deal, and you've already spent 2 years of it. The season's going to end tomorrow. That'll be 2 years. Now, they only have 2 years left. You're going to waste one of those with a point guard that's going to take the ball away from LaMelo. That's going to hamper his development. That's going to be a malcontent in the locker room. That's going to go up there and show up with no expectations. Oh, I don't have any expectations. That guy in your locker room? There's absolutely no way I would bring a guy in like Russell Westbrook to hamper the development of the point guard that you're trying to re-sign. What should the Hornets be doing? Spending whatever they got to spend to bring whatever player they can bring in to make the talent good enough to make LaMelo and convince him to stay. That's what they should be doing, not worrying about getting rid of a contract. Because if they're worried about getting rid of a contract, then they should also be thinking about trading LaMelo too, because there's no business reason he's going to resign. He's going to go to LA. He's going to go to some other team. Milwaukee focused on getting Greek Freak to resign. He resigned, and they won a championship. If Milwaukee can win a championship, why can't Charlotte win a championship? Because they don't have the mentality to believe that they can win a championship. They don't have the mentality to believe that they can be a contender. If Milwaukee Bucks can become a contender, there's no reason to believe that Charlotte can't become a contender. Milwaukee's not some thriving city that Charlotte can't be. So if Milwaukee can win, Charlotte can win. Charlotte has to try. And if you're trading for a dude that basically walked into the Lakers and said, I have no expectations, and you're going to pay $49 million to a guy that has no expectations, why should I believe the Hornets ever have any expectations? They don't expect to win. If you get Russell Westbrook, you're saying you're telling LaMelo you don't want to win. And if you're telling LaMelo you don't want to win, why should he stay? And if you lose LaMelo, it'll be another 20 years where you get a good player. Because it's not like free agents are flocking to go to Charlotte. Charlotte has to trade for its players. So your focus should be getting rid of that bad, dumb, stupid contract you gave to Gordon Hayward. That was dumb when you gave it to him, and we all said it was dumb. You paying a guy $40 million that only plays half the games a season, and you did it anyway. It was dumb when you made the trade, and it looks dumb now. And now you're trying to make another dumb trade to cover for the dumb trade you made before, and it'd be even worse. No, your focus should be on making the roster the best you can.
Wasn't that
not
right?
on just getting rid of a bad contract. Hold on, what you got to say, RJ?
They signed Gordon Hayward. Wasn't that right after they signed Nick Batum?
Man, thank you. It's like we gotta have one dumb contract after another.
That's why Michael Jordan got his own food. He ain't trying to win no games.
Bruh. You get out of a bad contract with Nick Batum. Nick Batum's contract was so bad. I was getting Lord, I ain't gonna go there. I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna go there.
Have made, would it be surprising that they traded for him? I don't know.
I expect them to. I expect them to.
He likes guards.
Makes me so upset.
He loves guards.
Because think about it. That's what I'm. Thank you, Trent. That's what I'm saying.
He loves guards.
They play fast. They already.
And you know what else he loves? Losing, apparently.
MKG, bro. Like
you got Miles Bridges waiting for 5. I think they don't. Well, how can we get people more than? Because I don't think, like you said, I don't think the Hornets league they can anytime soon. So we ain't gonna win. Only one else we can do.
But my thing is, if you got this type of once in a generation player in the draft, shouldn't your focus be on doing the best you can with that once in a generation player, or you're just gonna let him walk too? Because if they're trading for Russ, they might as well trade LaMelo and get whatever they can get for him, because he's not going to resign. And don't wait till he tells you he's not going to resign, and then you can't get nothing for him. Because you're going to pick a guy who plays LaMelo's position that refuses to come off the bench. So now LaMelo's going to spend the season playing off position, which is going to hamper his development.
Well,
because you worry about getting out of a bad contract.
What probably would happen is that Westbrook would probably play too.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's going to be in a Terry Rozier, but a bigger Terry Rozier. It's going to be them two. It's going to push it. And the other one.
It's the Hornets saying that we have no expectations. We don't expect to win, and because we don't expect to win, we're just gonna keep not winning. That's what it is, and I would be so frustrated.
Expectations.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook got up in his press conference and blamed everybody else. Why don't you want this dude on your team, man? I'm telling you, I'm sorry. And I'm paying $49 million for that. No, I'm sorry. I don't know how you look at how Russell Westbrook played last year and see worst 3-point shooter, most turnovers, worst free throw shooter, and say, I want that guy on my team. You know what? I would not make the move ever in any circumstance. If you held a gun to my face and said I had to make the trade, I'm only doing it if I can rule Dingham. And what I mean is, I get him and then I immediately release him. He's not going to be on my squad. There's no way I'm having him on my squad. That's the only way I would do it, is if you're getting him and then immediately releasing him. And so
so they say no, you gonna die.
No, what you do is yeah. Let me tell you what, to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. That's what I would do, I guess. I ain't taking no Russell Westbrook on my team.
You a lie.
I ain't taking no Russell Westbrook on my team. It's just not happening.
You stupid. You stupid.
I mean, the Hornets should have some expectations, right?
Yeah.
I mean, don't just tell your fans you don't care. That's what you're doing if you get Russell Westbrook. We don't care.
Yes,
come and watch this dude. Russ, RJ, you said something about, attracting fans. You know what else you'd be making? Russell Westbrook might rebuild the city. All them bricks he'd be throwing up. He might rebuild the city. Might build another skyscraper or two. You might have a Apple turnover store downtown because all the turnovers he'd be getting.
What if he do go to Charlotte and him and awesome backcourt duo?
I doubt it.
Oh,
no. Didn't work.
I think they both play different styles, and LaMelo can actually shoot the ball. So
I don't see it.
You
know who else can shoot the ball?
Better fit.
Bradley Beal, and they still stunk.
Bradley Beal got injured.
But
he got injured. He got injured.
I'm just telling you, I don't believe with Russ. I don't believe with Russ. You know what will happen? LaMelo will be in position to shoot, and Russell Westbrook will just drive the ball in the paint and turn the ball over. No.
Talk about a franchise that hasn't won anything.
But you should at least try.
They haven't
at least try.
But neither is Westbrook, though.
At least try. No.
But organization, they have tried in years.
Then trade LaMelo. Then trade him while you can get something for him.
Because they don't re-sign their own players.
Then trade them. Trade them now while you can.
It's gonna be sad though, because they really should re-sign Bridges and LaMelo. To be honest,
I don't think resign.
But why would anyone stay if your team is saying, hey, we have no expectations because we're going to pay $49 million for a dude with no expectations, and you have no expectations. Your team has no expectations. You expect to stink if you're going to get a player that stinks. So no, can't do it. All right, let me leave Russell Westbrook alone. I'm sorry.
They probably
it's nothing. It's not personal. It's just about your game. I can't do it. So this has been a. I know we at 10 o'clock. We had other topics we were going to talk about. We were going to talk about WNBA draft and stuff like that. But we got to leave with the MVP, the most valuable player in the NBA. This has been the tightest race, basically almost really in the last 20 years. So we're going to end with this. I want to start with RJ because I already know where Trent's going to go. RJ, who do you got as your NBA MVP? This is Chris Broussard said it was the toughest race he's done in 20 years. A lot of great candidates, but who do you have as your MVP?
I'm Embiid.
You going with Embiid?
Yeah.
Okay, why are you going with Embiid for?
Let's see. I feel like he raised his name even without Ben. And then also he got James Harden. Clearly carry James Harden because James Harden is trash right now. He's in the East, which is kind of weird. Like he's kind of like flop. I mean, kind of flip powers. And like I said, he both ends. I like Jokic, but I mean, he's the 6th seed in the West, which isn't a good conference here. And like I said, Embiid basically doing it in the hardest conference by himself. And Giannis got a squad that just won a championship last year. So I don't want to dock that from him, but I'm going to. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Embiid. And he just led the league in scoring. The first center is Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's that, like a 20-year record?
Yeah, that was 2000.
Yeah,
2000 when he did it.
So yeah, I'm going with Embiid.
Wow. Okay, so we got one vote for Embiid. Let's see, Trent. Let's see who you got, Trent, as your MVP.
Embiid.
We're going 2 for 2 here, Joel Embiid.
Because without Embiid, it would be the James Harden show, and we already know what that looks like. We've seen it twice, and I've seen enough of it. I don't care to see that show. I turn the channel. I would turn the channel definitely, but so the boy has just been balling. He's been hooping. He's been hooping all year, and come hell or high water, he's been hooping. So I think this is his year.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you know what? I got to turn the music back on for this one. We got to turn the music. This is I got to turn this to I made a whole presentation about this. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk MVP. What is, I believe, the toughest MVP race of all time? You've heard 2 people. You've heard RJ. You've heard Trenton. Their analysis. But now, hear from the Nostradamus, who should be the MVP. Because I'm pretty sure I'll tell you who's gonna win, but I'm gonna tell you who should win MVP. First, though, I'm gonna talk about the honorable mentions. Freak, 29.9 points per game, 55% shooting, 11.6 rebounds. He's second in the East, so he's got the record, and he played well. So really, I'm gonna be honest with you. If Greek Freak won the MVP, you couldn't be mad at him. Not with those numbers, not with that record. And just like RJ said, the East was the better conference this year, and look how they did as a team. So he could easily win it. But there's a certain quality in all the MVPs. And I'll tell you this: in any other random year, Giannis would have easily won MVP. Very easily played the way that he played and way Tebas did. But there's certain qualities I want in my MVP, and I'm going to tell you about it when we get to the top three. Same thing with Luka, 28.5 points per game, almost a triple-double, 51 and 30 record, fourth in the West. You see a real improvement amongst the Mavs. You see what they're doing. Again, another great season, but there's a special quality with my MVPs. In a race this razor thin, something about these top three separated them from the other candidates. So I'm going to start with my third place person. Let me see. No, not that person. Let's see. Not that. Devin Booker. I got Devin Booker third in my MVP race. 26 points per game, 64 and 17, first place in the NBA by 7 games. And here's what I like. When we first started this show, one of the first things we talked about was CP3 being out for a long stretch of time starting the second half of the season.
And I was worried.
You were worried, and the Suns just kept it moving. Devin Booker picked up the pace, upped his average to 28 points a game. I'm telling you, when you overcome, all three of the people in my top three overcame something. So with them and Devin Booker, you saw them overcoming the absence of Chris Paul and still being the first in the NBA by 7 games. An impressive stat. There have been 12 players in the history of the NBA who averaged 25 points a game for a team that was 7 games ahead of every other NBA team. All the other 12 won MVP. So, really, Devin Booker has an MVP resume, and the Suns are clearly the best team, and he's the best player on that team. But he's third on my list. And now I got to get to the guy who's number 2, and honestly, the guy who's probably going to win it, Jokic. He will probably win the MVP, but he's second on my list. When you look at his points, 7, rebounds, 2nd, assists, 8 from a big man. He's the first player in the NBA history with 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 500 assists. LeBron didn't do that. Jordan didn't do that. Greek Freak didn't do that. Jokic is in a category by himself. He won the MVP last year, and he's doing it without Jamal Murray. He's doing it without Michael Porter Jr. So, yeah, 6 in the West is not great, but if you look at what the Nuggets have had to overcome, and the way that he's played all around great, he's also the sixth player in NBA history to lead his team in every stat: points, rebounds, assists, blocks, steals, every stat. I think he's going to win, but he's not who I'd vote for. I would vote for the same guy y'all would vote for. I'd vote for Joel Embiid. The reason why I picked Embiid is because not only for the scoring, but something else you guys didn't bring up with Embiid. He did this in the shadow of the Ben Simmons drama. In the shadow of his organization and his second best player, not just being injured, but just straight up being a malcontent. Straight up causing dysfunctional front office. Causing problems, which is different and worse than an injury. So if you ask me, Joel Embiid had to deal with more than what anybody else had to deal with, because nobody was coming to them going, is Ben Simmons going to play? Is Ben Simmons going to play? What do you think about what Ben Simmons is doing? That's what Joel Embiid had to deal with. And he still did that and still had the Sixers balling. There were people who thought when the Sixers did that, when Ben Simmons was doing what he was doing, there were people who thought the Sixers were done. And they had their championship window had passed. And now Joel Embiid stepped his game up even more to the point where they believe they could still win the championship, which is why they went for James Harden, because they think I don't think it's going to work, But the fact that their front office was aggressive was because of the play of Joel Embiid. He's been that good, and I believe this year he is deserving of being the MVP. I don't know if he's gonna win it, but if we were the ones voting, he'd be the ones picking it. We would pick Joel Embiid. He is our MVP for this year. What y'all think about that?
I agree. That's a good point about the whole Ben Simmons stuff. That was horrible. Now having to deal with the petty, toxic, just silly front office. Just yeah, you're right. I agree with you 1,000%. 1,000%.
Look at there. So
and
I just hope Devin Booker gets more love in the playoffs, even though people don't really realize. I think Devin Booker, I think he's really going to show himself, and people are going to really respect him the way he should be. I think Devin Booker will really show himself to be a top 7 player by the time this playoff is over, and I think he's going to be the main catalyst if the Suns end up winning a championship and finishing the job they didn't finish last year.
Yeah, Bucks.
We'll see what happens with the Bucks if they play the Nets. I'd love to see that a second time, and
they're gonna whoop the Nets. They gonna whoop.
I will clip this moment because if they do, I will clip this moment and make sure you show that you said this.
They're gonna whoop.
That's true, but I feel like before we go, I want to make sure I'm doing right. Yesterday we were going to record on the show. One of the things that went down was the WNBA draft. I want to talk about this before I go. And, one of the things we were really going to make sure we do on this show was we were going to give the WNBA its shine and give them its due. So I really want to take the time to spend some time on that. And we saw a couple of things really go down when it comes to the WNBA draft. Let me see. Let me see. Let me get to mine. Let me see. Okay. But Trent, talk to me about what you noticed really when it came down to this WNBA draft.
Okay. One big thing is Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard, y'all, is a guard out of Kentucky. It is unfortunate because, as we all know, both Kentucky's teams got dismissed from the tournament early. And Ryan Howard's the reason why it was so unbelievably thought to, or so believed that they would go far into the draft. The girl averaged 20.5, 7.4 rebounds, 3.3 assists. She's 6'2", and when I tell you she's a hooper, I call her Miss Step Back. The girl got a step back jumper that's so lethal. It was when I was looking at her, y'all, she shot 44.1% from the field, 38.3 from 3. The girl is a hooper. She was drafted at number 1. What's their name?
Can I throw a little context in there?
They did the big trade just to get her. Yeah. There was like this big trade
with the Mystics. Yeah, they traded with the Mystics.
Yeah, so they did this just to get her. They knew what they wanted. They did what they needed to get her, and it was the girl is going to be great.
I was going to say
star. I
want to say this, yeah, because I think she's big time. Keep in mind when you people see that she's 6'2", keep in mind that in a lot of the WNBA, centers are run around 6'5", 6'4", 6'5". So centers are 6'4", 6'5", and she's 6'2", and she's hitting threes. She's 6'2", and she's 4th in the Kentucky history in steals. So she can defend, she can shoot, she can guard 1 through 4. She can block. She can do it all. So I'm telling you, I expect Atlanta Dream was not a good team. I expect her to have a big year. Anything else you want to point out, Trenton?
You had the young lady, Amisha Williams Holiday, the first woman drafted from an HBU for 20 years. She played for Jackson State. Okay, so she was drafted 25th overall, which is basically the first pick in the 3rd round. And I think the only reason she was drafted that low was because she had a bad showing in the tournament. She did not play well in the tournament. It was against LSU. They were a 14th seed, I believe. And she scored 15. She still scored 15 points, but it was an ugly 14 points. She was like 4 of 13 from the field. She still managed 12 rebounds. The girl is 6'4", y'all. She averaged 19.2 points, 11.4 rebounds, 2.7 blocks, and 1.1 steals per game. So the girl, I mean, hey. But the question is, I think that she's gonna have to prove that she can perform around the talent. I mean, she still had the 12 rebounds, so she's no slouch. You know, she knows how to use her size. She even had that 12 rebounds against the top, more of a better talent. But she's gonna have to prove that she can score. Because I was looking, she's not as athletic. She kind of reminds me of like a as my boy Joker. She kind of reminds me of the Joker, but she didn't know how. But the Joker even knows how to use his weight and size, and he's just better with his positioning. She wasn't getting any lift. She was getting a shot blocked. The girl from LSU was eating her up. But I will say this: she was no slouch either. She was good as well. Was strong and tall herself. So I mean, it wasn't like it was somebody that was a cupcake, but I just under those circumstances, being from an HBCU, wanting to prove herself, I just wish she would have performed better on the big stage in that moment. But she didn't. I think that's why she got drafted when she did. I think she would have been. I think she could have ended up. If she'd have done well, center runner runs could get you in a lottery pick. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But she just didn't. When her number was called, she didn't perform well. But yeah, I'm still excited. I'm hoping. I'm wishing her the best. I think it's a good thing for even HBCUs. What's crazy is that I just like that. So it's been 20 years since a girl from HBCU, and the crazy thing is also back 20 years ago, it was 3 girls that got drafted, but none since then. But but we'll see.
I want to point out something. So the Indiana Fever ended up having ticks 2, 4, 6, and 10. So I didn't know when Terrence became the general manager of the Indiana Fever. That must have been a new job he got. I didn't know about that. Now I'm just playing. But if Terrence really was the GM of the Indiana Fever, they would have picks. The 4 picks, then they would have Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore, and Candace Parker all on the same team. That's how Terrence do it in Madden, and that's how Terrence would do it if he were the GM of the Indiana Fever. But so they're really going young, and one of the things they really focused on, you see them go for a lot of bigs. There was a big focus in the first round.
Melissa Smith is another one. Melissa Smith is a monster. She's a traditional center, much like the Jackson girl. Now she doesn't shoot threes. She's not a jump shooter at all. She's straight post. 22 points, 11.5 rebounds. The girl was mean and nasty. 55%. Yo, she's a traditional center, and I love watching her play. And then I got one more person I would like to talk about. Oh, and she's from Baylor. So, and that was another team that got upset early in the tournament.
Yeah, second round.
She's why they were surprised because everybody was big on Melissa Smith. Now you have another young lady named Nia Clouden. She's a runt. She's 5'8", right? But she averaged 20 points, 4.2 rebounds. 5'8", and she averaged 4.2 rebounds. That's pretty good. 4.2 assists. She's a little guard out of Michigan State. Yo, sharp shooter. That's what she's I love it. I think in the right system, she could be a monster because she's a really, really good shooter. She shot 42.7 from the field, 39.6 from 3. The girl can hoop. A good defender. She can. She got a really quick first step. Pretty good handler. I look forward to seeing what comes of her as well.
I think one thing I want to point out. I think the team to watch is the Washington Mystics. It's a team that returns all 5 players from a team that won a championship in 2019. So injuries could beset them, but they've got the pieces that if there's going to be a team that makes a run, and then they had the number 1 pick that they traded for the number 3 pick, they end up getting Shakira Austin out of Ole Miss, the versatile big, who's also a very good shot blocker, and adding them to a team that's championship ready. As the WNBA season really starts, and we're going to really cover the WNBA on the show. Really, I'm very interested in seeing how the Mystics do. If they can make a run in the postseason, if they can really try to go for the championship, considering that they have these pieces, I want to see what they end up being able to do. Definitely want to talk about that. Of course, when the WNBA season starts, we're going to really be on it. I don't know, RJ, if you've been able to catch any of the I know you've been kind of busy. I don't know if you caught any of the women's games, man. That's definitely something we're going to be covering this year, but just some things to keep in mind. Also, New York Liberty, Naira Sabally, her sister is a WNBA All-Star, Satao Sabally, both bigs. So I'm really interested in seeing how they do as well. There was a lot of bigs and a lot of big wings that got drafted in that first round. I think there was only one really kind of short guard, but you see the WNBA, size matters, athleticism matters, bigs matter, and can you defend? That was the question all throughout the first round. Almost everyone that got drafted in that first round can defend, are great athletes, and they're big. I think there's only one person that really got drafted that was like 5'8" or 5'9" in the first round. You're seeing 6'1", 6'2", 6'4", 6'5" bigs. And so that was just interesting. That was something we kind of wanted to point out. Anything else, T-Matt?
Nope.
Now, I can't wait to see what happens with that. But all right, it's 10:30, man. It's time for us to get ready to go. But do you have any other questions or comments before we get ready for this, man?
I've been glad I had the game on TV. This Clippers and Minnesota game. Mm-hmm. These refs are really suspicious. It's really suspicious, and this game looks real suspicious. For whatever reason, it just seems like they might want the Clippers to get there. That's all I'm saying. Though I will also say Minnesota's not helping themselves, but the fouls that they call it and the stuff they're letting go on one side, but then calling on the other, I'm seeing it just as plain as day as I'm watching it. Now I don't want to. Hey, it is in Minnesota, and I'm confused, but hey,
playoff basketball, man. That's how it works. You know how it is.
Omar,
so I'm pretty excited.
I want to talk about Baker Mayfield today.
and they just called another foul.
Let me tell you, it will not be. Before you do, I want you to know there will be no Baker Mayfield slander on this show. You even start, and you'll just get removed. It's gonna be that quick. There's no Baker Mayfield slander.
We got
not on my boy. There will be no Baker Mayfield slander allowed. See, this Baltimore Ravens fan. He needs to worry. If you ask me, he needs to worry about getting a new offensive coordinator that's holding back Lamar Jackson and stop worrying about my quarterback. Okay.
We just slandered the Lakers for 40 minutes. We're gonna do it.
Say that one more time.
Not slander.
That was light slander.
That was truth telling. That was truth telling.
Let's tell the truth about Baker Mayfield.
Oh, hold on. Let me remove your mic. I'm gonna put you on mute. We are not gonna sit here and deal with no Baker Mayfield slander on this channel. There will be none. Not while I got my University of Oklahoma. We are not gonna do this today. All right. I had to put you in timeout. We ain't doing that. I'm telling you. Don't worry. Baker Mayfield will end up on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he'll still be playing Baltimore twice a year. That's what I'm waiting on. Because if you think Pittsburgh's going to roll into the season with Mr. Biscuit, we really going to see what's going on. But other than that, hey, I give my best predictions right here on the O2 Sports Show. I'm just letting y'all know. Oh, very important to note, we're going to be doing our show on Monday, and I cannot wait till Thursday night of the draft, April 28th. We will be live during the draft, first round, right here. Get your coverage right here. Instant analysis of all the picks, and you can come up here, Panther fans, and sulk and cry when the Panthers take Kenny Pickett or some other terrible pick and don't shore up their offensive line like they should. Come right here on there. We'll cry along with you. You know, we'll deal with all the drama. We're also gonna have some guests come on that are fans of different teams to get their perspective and analysis.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
that's gonna be a fun night. Get your
Bro,
nachos and your wings and have them ready.
do not judge me if I'm eating on the show because I'm not sitting here not eating on the show. We're gonna eat. We're gonna
Fact.
watch this draft. I'm gonna have the show going. We will talk about everything that's going on. But so please be a part. This is gonna be awesome. I cannot wait. Anything else y'all want to say?
Good.
Okay, I was gonna say no Baker Mayfield slander out of you, RJ. We will appreciate it. Other than that, thank y'all so much all for being a part. We appreciate you guys for everything you do. Thank y'all so much for being a part of the show. Whether you're watching it live, you're watching it later. This has been another episode of the OT Sports Show. See y'all again.